This is the Transformers Generations War for Cybertron Trilogy EARTHRISE Voyager class thrust. And I picked up this figure from GC Toy Collectibles. Go check out their Facebook page. They got a cool bunch of stuff, really amazing stuff from this toy shop. Okay, I actually pre-ordered this figure through 3 different toy shops. The 2 other toy shops were EARTHRISE and Kal-El Collectibles. I had to do that as an insurance policy because this thing is just the most wonderful thing in the world. You know why? Because it is a Target exclusive. And you know what that means? In Manila, we do not have Target stores. Hooray for Hasbro! It is near to impossible getting this figure at retail price. You'll have to pay extra money, do that insurance policy I told you about, just to be assured that you're going to get this figure. Hasbro, I hope you're really proud of yourselves. Okay, so there you go. Here's a quick look at the packaging. Let's crack this guy open. And here is Thrust out of packaging. And you know what? When he was still in the box, I actually thought the colors were pretty bland, but when you take him out, the figure just pops. I love what Hasbro and Takara Tomy has done with this character. This incarnation of Thrust is absolutely one of the best ones I've seen, and he really, really looks amazing. Now, I think the best paint app still belongs to the Generations Thrust, which was done in this really deep red candy flake type of color. It wasn't accurate or anything at all. It just looks so pretty, and I think it's one of the best seekers out there next to the Thundercracker Generations figure. The Henkei version was just a little bit too light. It was bordering on cartoony, and to a certain extent it was, I guess, cartoon accurate to a certain degree, without, if you don't look at those wings, those weird sort of painted wings and all that. Looking at the toy, I never had the G1 Thrust, and the colors on this new version from EARTHRISE really reminds me of the kind of red plastic they used for the G1 toy. And I love that Hasbro's going back to its roots and giving us a lot more of the G1 likeness in these EARTHRISE figures. And dare I say, the type of red that they used kind of looks like, to a certain degree, some accuracy in cartoon form, or the cartoon look of Thrust, at least in the movie. I think this was in the movie because in the series cartoon, he kind of looks corny with the crimson and gray colors instead of the black and red colors. Either way, the details of the figure, they do match, have some form of accuracy to the cartoon as well as the toy, which just makes this figure such a terrific figure. And I just feel bad that it became an exclusive. They should have just released this on mass retail, but apparently they have some unwritten agreement, or I don't know if it's written, that all of their red colored figures somehow have to be Target exclusives. I have no idea what's that all about. Anyway, in terms of mold degradation, I don't see any. In fact, if at all, the joints on this figure just became tighter. There's no looseness to the figure. I don't feel like the mold's being worn out or anything like that. Most of the joints are still tight. I do appreciate Hasbro's quality measures on ensuring that. So very, very cool. The paint apps do remind me of G1, especially the knees and how the color schemes are, where the blacks are, where the black color plastic are, gray bits, the red pieces here and there. The aesthetics of the robot does scream G1, and I just really, really love this figure. In terms of paint apps, I've seen a couple of these on the shelf from the store I bought it. The first things you want to look out for are the eyes. And in some of the figures, the yellow is not painted evenly. And it's usually the left eye of thrust that's missing a bit of yellow paint. And as you can clearly see right here on my copy, even on my copy, the yellow paint on the eyes just barely make it enough just to cover everything. And the right eye is perfectly painted, so just be wary of that for the head sculpt. Face is painted wonderfully with this gunmetal gray. I really like that. And the other bit of paint you need to worry about are the knees. These are part of the aesthetics of the cartoon, and these were the stickers on the G1 toy. And you gotta make sure that the white, again with the white paint apps, and the purple, they're not bleeding into each other. There's no jagged edges here and there. It's a minor consideration on quality issue, but sometimes if you want your paint apps perfect, it can be a little bit annoying. Very minor issues in terms of quality control for the figure. So articulation is going to be the same as the Starscream figure, the Dirge, Thundercracker, Skywarp, and Ramjet figure. We're not going to talk about that. The guns, null rays, exactly the same mold, perhaps even the same plastic they used for both Ramjet and Dirge. And speaking of Ramjet and Dirge, here is Thrust with his fellow Coneheads. Both figures were in a 2-pack. It was an Amazon exclusive, in case you didn't know. And they look great together. I'm just so happy. I didn't have too much of a difficult time completing the Conehead Seekers. So relieved, and they look so amazing. I am just so pleased what Hasbro has done for these figures, and it's just a shame that all figures are store exclusives. I wish somehow we just get a break and Hasbro would cut us some slack and just release these figures everywhere. Same goes for Thundercracker and Skywarp. Just release them everywhere. Everyone's gonna buy them. All collectors, if not 95% of collectors who love the G1 continuity, are gonna just gobble up and pick up these figures. And it's a shame that collectors like me, where I'm from, we have to pay 2.5, 3 times the value of the price for these figures just to be able to get them. Just to give you a close-up look at these head sculpts, I love what Hasbro and Takara Tomy have done with these molds. They're clearly not direct repaints of each other. They're great retools, and at the same time, apart from just retooling the wings, they've given us 3 different expressions of the Conehead head sculpt. You can see Dirge with the sort of screaming face, and you get the scowling face from Ramjet. And Thrust, I think there's a little bit of a smirk or a smile right there on his face. And I thought it's amazing that we get all these expressions so that you totally differentiate the characters other than their colors and their wings. So transformation, it's about the same as the other Conehead Seekers, but we'll still get right to it. So remove the weapons. Let's do the arms first. Pull this up, collapse this, that. Okay, do the same on the other side. This up. Okay. And fold it down. Fold this up like that. Okay, and we're good to go. Wings, level them like that. Cockpit, just collapse like that. Open the chest. This. Rotate and transform. Okay, fold the arms inside like this. Fold back that entire cockpit up like that. Okay, and onto the legs. And fold these up. Fold these feet down. Go ahead, might as well combine them. Join them together like that. And then make sure everything's straight before you collapse the entire leg section and tab them in like that. Fold these like this. That. Okay. And then all that's left are the wings. This. I'm glad they did away with those tabs right there in here, which were from Thundercracker, Skywarp, and Starscream. And that really, you know, when you try and fold it down like that, the clearance is so tight that the joints right here, they just love to pop off. So I'm glad they modified it with the cone heads. And yeah, looking great. Just do is add the, well, you can put them right here, but then that would defeat the purpose, right? Because those are sort of VTOL fans and thrusters to allow him to lift. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna leave them right here. Here, you can all put them right there, but I think they look great right here. Despite the instructions telling you to put them here, I think it just makes more sense that they're right here, and to allow the thrusters to allow him to thrust upwards like that and fly away. See what I did there? Thrust up. And so some final thoughts on this figure. I think obviously it's an amazing figure. The figure is going to get a 10 out of 10 for me. Best of luck to everybody hunting this figure down. It's a Target exclusive, it's a store exclusive, but the good news is it's a solid case. If it's a store exclusive, every case of the Voyager Seeker they're going to get is going to have at least two pieces of thrust figures. So you just gotta work harder, beat the scalpers, or you could do how I did it. Just get some insurance, and you gotta purchase it, pre-order it, several hobby shops, but there is a way to get it. You just have to figure out which one's the best one for you. It's great to have all three Conehead Seekers together, especially in the Voyager class scale. I think Hasbro and Takara Tomy did a wonderful job with thrust, as well as the other Seekers in EARTHRISE. I'm glad we're getting all the G1 characters, at least for the first 2 seasons. And it's just amazing how far the Generations line has come. It's just a little sad that the characters, figures most collectors want are becoming increasingly difficult to obtain because of the scalpers, hoarders, and because Hasbro and Takara Tomy have decided to make them store exclusives. Let me know in the comment section what you think of Thrust, as well as these other Coneheads. Is it something you want to pick up? You absolutely must pick up? You want to hunt it down, pre-order it? Or did it just make you want to quit the line because you kind of know this is going to be near next to impossible to obtain in your area? Let me know in the comment section, and as always, hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. If it's your first time here, please subscribe, and if you want to help the channel out, please check out my Patreon account. There is a link in the description box below. Keep the faith, have hope, law of averages. You can't always lose when you're hunting. You'll find your stuff sooner or later, and most often than not, you usually find the stuff when you're not looking for them. Till then, till all are one. Thanks for watching.